That man, Vanilla Vic, icing it in the desert today.
You are Locked On Lions, your daily Detroit Lions podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? On a Sunday edition, a little post-game, a podcast. Matt Derry with you, Locked On Lions, Locked On Podcast Network. Lions improved to 2-1 as they go into Arizona, the Red Sea, and knock off the Cardinals today, 20-13. Lions win today despite not scoring the entire second half today. If I would have told you the Lions weren't going to score in the second half, but still win, you would have said you're crazy. But I'm not. The Lions are 2-1. They get the victory. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for being with us on a Sunday. Thanks for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcasts. Shout out to our everydayers who watch or listen to the program daily. Bunch of everydayers went out to Arizona to see this Lions victory. Chauncey Williamson was there. Brennan Pitcher was there. Matty Style in the house in Arizona. Yes, I saw Ron Crackman singing a forward down the field on the airplane. But the Lions get it done 20-13. Also got to welcome some new listeners out there. My new buddies, John and Michelle Nix from Grosse Pointe, great people. And Ralph Valatuti, the pride of Clinton Township, loves his Lions. What's up, Ralph? Thanks for being with us. Follow us on Twitter at Derry Speaks, at Locked On Lions, Matt Derry Facebook fan page. A lot of action over there today. And also subscribe and watch us for free on our Locked On Lions YouTube channel. Lions win 20-13. They got back to running the football today. We could talk about so many things, the 10 penalties and the mistakes, and Terrion Arnold with another pass interference call, and Jared Goff throws a bad interception, and this and that. Folks, the bottom line is the Lions got back to being who the Lions are. Last week, they threw the ball 55 times. I said that's not going to work. Today, Jared Goff threw the ball 23 times. The Lions ran the ball 43 times and passed it 23. That's how they're going to win. That's how this team has to win. And on the first drive of the game, Lions milk the clock. Lions use the clock. Lions go down the field 75 yards, and it's all David Montgomery. That's how you got to do it. Arizona was no match for what the Lions could do on the ground today. Montgomery finishes with 23 carries, 105 yards, his 12th 100-yard rushing game of his career, and a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs averaged 5 a pop, 16 carries for 83 yards. And when the Lions needed it most, at the end of the game, to ice the game, they went to, as my buddy Chris Druin would say, Vanilla Vic. Jared Goff on a bootleg slides down for an 8-yard run, and then a couple of knees, and the Lions win 20-13. But I liked the game plan. I liked the execution, especially in the first half. This was Ben Johnson and the offense saying, we can't be winning games like we did last week, or trying to win games like we did last week, throwing the ball over 50 times. That's not going to work. And this quarterback right now is not playing his best football. And he would tell you that. This is not the Jared Goff from last year, or even at the end of 2022, that was out-dueling Aaron Rodgers. Jared Goff, today, when they had to have it, big third down, late in the game, to ice the game, or at least to get close to it, hits Amon-Ra St. Brown on a 3rd and long for a 12-yard gain and a first down. It was pitch and catch, and it was Goff to St. Brown to perfection. But Jamison Williams, 3 targets, 1 catch. Sam Laporta, 2 catches, 2 targets. And I know Laporta had an ankle injury, a sprained ankle today. We'll get into all the injuries and everything else. But when the Lions needed it, Goff did deliver, but he'd be the first to tell you he's not playing great football right now. He's thrown 4 picks the first 3 weeks. Today, 18 out of 23, 199 yards, which is pretty economical and pretty good, to be honest. Passer rating of 113.6, 2 sacks, but just not a lot downfield, not a lot clicking with J-Mo right now, or Laporta, St. Brown. It looks like they've got that back, which is good. It's been a lot of check down stuff. The pick was a bad one. You didn't see Gardeck, the linebacker, right there. And the team only put up 20 points today and did not score in the second half. but this defense for the first 3 games has only allowed 20 points or less in all 3 games. That's the first time that's happened to start a season since 1993. Our crack stats staff looked that up. That's pretty darn good. First time since 93, Lion defense has held teams to 20 points or below in the first 3 weeks. We're going to talk specifically about the defense in a second. But what I loved today was the sea of blue. I'm wearing my blue shirt. Sea of blue in the crowd. Lion fans really traveled well. And it wasn't the prettiest of games. And for some odd reason, they just kept letting Arizona hang around. I mean, second half, just a field goal would have put the game away a lot earlier. You look up, you're like, wait a minute, this is a 1-score game, and, Arizona's going to get the football back. And then, of course, they didn't. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't have been this close. The defense, which I'm going to talk about in a second, was phenomenal today. But the offensive game plan was good. I loved all the play calls except that 4th and 1 where the Lions broke the huddle and tried to go quick and just did a fullback dive with Montgomery with no lead back, with nothing in motion. And the Cardinals snuffed it out and made the play. Stills made that play. It was a bad play call. But earlier in the game, the hook and ladder, my God, how about that? Goff to St. Brown, laterals it back to Jahmyr Gibbs, shades of Don Strock in the 82 playoffs, Dolphins and Chargers. Loved it. Loved the hook and ladder. That was Ben Johnson at his best. But the run pass splits today, much better. David Montgomery has got to stay in the game as well. If you're riding Monty in the first quarter and you go right down the field, 75 yards and score, or what was it? Yeah, 70 yards and score. Then you take him out. They've got to find a way to have Montgomery and Gibbs on the field at the same time. They have to. And it means if Gibbs out wide or they split him in the backfield, Lions just won't, for some odd reason, they just don't do it. Hesse was back there as a fullback, had a whiff on a block today. Vaki played a little bit as a fullback. But what would be so wrong to have Jahmyr Gibbs out there with David Montgomery? And by the way, his name is Jahmyr Gibbs. Kurt Menefee, who's part of that god-awful Fox studio show, which is just a clown show with Bradshaw, and Gronkowski all of a sudden has just become this giant clown. But Kurt Menefee, they go during halftime, says Jahmyr Gibbs with a touch. Jahmyr, guy was on an NFC championship team last year, was a Pro Bowler. His name's Jahmyr. Come on, Kurt. You host the Fox NFL Sunday studio show. Know the damn players' names. He's done that a couple times. He's called him Jahmyr Gibbs. His name's Jahmyr. Pathetic. But yes, St. Brown, active, made a big play. Goff, delivered when he needed to. Still not 100% sharp. The penalties today, where are the numbers here? Let me give you some stats. Penalties today, Lions had 9 penalties for 79 yards. False starts. The Jalen Reeves-Maben late hit at the end of the half. You can't do that. So there's things that the Lions need to clean up. But they're right there at 2-1, and they won on the road. All right? You go on the road, and I get it. That place was 60% Lions fans out in Glendale. What a job by Lion fans. My God. Every time Dan Skipper reported eligible, you could hear the roar of the crowd through the TV. I know that's a funny bit, and it's become a bit now, but how great is that? Lion fans are the best, man. That place was a sea of blue, and it helped the Lions certainly today get that win. And I thought the defense was phenomenal. And we're going to talk about some of the things that Aaron Glenn, future head coach Aaron Glenn, did today, which was great. 20-13 Lions over the Cardinals this afternoon. Lions improved to 2-1, staring up in the standings at the Minnesota Vikings. KOC and Sam Darnold. I mean, Minnesota blew out the Texans today. Blew them out at home, 34-7. I told you guys on this show, I've said this for months. Everybody thinks Minnesota is going to be sorry this year. Brian Flores is a whale of a defensive coordinator. Minnesota is going to hang around. But 3-0, I never expected this. Packers, impressive today in Tennessee. The Titans are a shipwreck. And the Bears, nice offense, Bears. The Bears are going to finish in last again. Come on. All you guys thought, many people, oh, Caleb's going to be so good. He's not ready. I mean, he's going to be decent down the road. He's going to be a good player. But that Bears offense, their offensive line, Eberflus, having to blow a timeout when it was 14-9 today, when they cut the Colts lead to 5. Everybody in the stadium knows you go for 2 to try to make it a 1-score game. And he had to blow a timeout because half his staff's on the sidelines putting up 1 finger and he's putting up 2. Like, that's brutal. All right, coming up next, let's talk about the defense. Lions win in Arizona. You take them however you can here on the Locked On Podcast Network. And Locked On Lions are brought to you by DoorDash. Football's finally back, which means it's time to order your favorite game day food, snacks, and drinks on DoorDash without missing a play. Today was a perfect day. Had a little sun, got some rain, thank goodness. We needed some rain around here, but you needed food. You needed to be watching all the games. The 1 o'clock games, Lions at 4:25. You got Falcons and Chiefs going on right now. What do you want? You want wings? You want pizza? You want burgers? What about alcohol? You can get it all delivered with DoorDash. Seriously, how do you define game day greatness as a fan? Well, it might just be the spread and the food that you're going to get. All right. The best way to get it done is having DoorDash get it for you. Seriously, the best. All right. Use the promo code LOCKEDFALL, FALL24 for 50% off of up to a $10 value when you spend $15 or more on your first order. Limited time offer, terms apply. Promo is not valid for orders containing alcohol. DoorDash, your door to game day greatness, your door to more. Download the DoorDash app right now to order your game day favorites. Must be 21 years of age or older to order alcohol. Drink responsibly. Alcohol available only in select markets. It's DoorDash. Little post-game edition of Locked On Lions right here on the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Matt Derry with you. Thanks for checking us out. Again, wherever you get your podcasts, Lions win today 20-13 over the Arizona Cardinals out in the desert, the Red Sea, as I like to call it. Lions scored first on a David Montgomery 1-yard touchdown run, made it 7-0. Jake Bates hit the extra point. We'll get to that in a second. Oh, you know I'm going to reach for that kicker list. Marvin Harrison Jr., then a 10-yard pass from Kyler. It looked like we're going to have just a free-for-all, high-scoring game, 7-7 first quarter. Lions came back in the second. Goff to St. Brown from 5 yards out. PAT wide right from Jake Bates. It was 13-7. Then Gibbs on the hook and ladder from St. Brown. 20-7 Lions led. Then some dumb penalties, and Arizona came down. Matt Prater, 42 yards. It's good. 20-10 Lions led at the half. No scoring in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, Prater hit a 45-yard field goal with 3:48 to go as the defense got off the field. Then the Lions iced the game and won it 20-13 today. Goff, 2 touchdown passes, 1 to St. Brown, 1 on the hook and ladder from St. Brown to Gibbs. Montgomery, 105 yards on the ground. St. Brown, 7 catches, 75 yards, and a touchdown. But it was the defense that got the job done today. Kyler Murray has been on a heater to start the year. Last week, blew out the Rams, who, by the way, beat the Niners today. Week before that, nearly beat the Bills. Kyler Murray today was held to a 76.5 passer rating, 21 out of 35 for 207, sacked once by Hutchinson, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Kirby Joseph with a nice pick in the end zone today. And the ground game, James Conner went off for 100 yards last week against the Rams. How about Conner, 9 carries, 17 yards? Their leading rusher today was Kyler Murray with 45 yards. Lions run for 187. Arizona 77. And the defense was fantastic today. Listen, when you're playing a guy like Kyler Murray, you got to stay in your lanes. You got to be disciplined. You got to communicate because this guy's going left. He's going right. He's everywhere. When you rush him, you can't over pursue or he'll come around the edge and run for 15, 20 yards. The Lions today bottled everything up, and future head coach Aaron Glenn, as I like to call him, did an excellent job. This defense has held three pretty good offenses in check. Rams 20 points, Bucks 20 points, Cardinals 13 points. You got rookies out there. You got Terrion Arnold. Let me tell you something about that kid. That kid got called for the first play of the game. They lob it up to Harrison, Terrion Arnold, pass interference. And you're like, oh boy, here we go, right? It's going to be a long day. Terrion Arnold bounced back and had a whale of a game. He did. That's a rookie corner, fighting through a knee injury, still getting used to the pro game. Right? He's right there every time. He's not getting beat. He's there. His problem is he doesn't know where the ball is yet, and he's very grabby. No penalties after that. He was much better as the game wore on, and held Harrison Jr., who had 2 touchdowns last week, to 5 catches for 64 yards on 11 targets. That's a good job. Kirby Joseph is playing outstanding football at safety. Hutchinson doing his thing. The Lions were disciplined. Levi Onwuzurike is really improving. We're seeing it. There were a ton of injuries today. A ton. Guys coming off the field. Lee McNeil's shoulder. Derek Barnes' knee. Laporta hurt his ankle. Brian Branch is in concussion protocol right now. Brian Branch was all over the field today. All over the field making plays. Carlton Davis. How about 4th and 1? Big play of the game. Midfield. Second half. Kyler Murray fakes it into the line, runs right. No one's running Kyler Murray down around the edge. That's a first down. Carlton Davis was right there, made the play. At first, they called it a first down because Murray had reached with the left hand. Then Dan Campbell, the great challenge. And Davis ended up making the play and bringing Murray down before he reached out. Lions get the football. That was an outstanding play. So we're seeing some depth on that defense. Anzalone, a Gaines Media poster boy, Alex Anzalone, out today due to concussion and still in. They've cleared him, but he probably needed another week. He was hurt and did not play today. Derek Barnes, like I said, got hurt. Ben Neiman was out there. Rodrigo played a boatload of snaps today. Kendall Vildor had to play. I mean, they were emptying the bench today. And those guys did their thing. Now, on the Arizona side, Jonathan Gannon and the Cardinals, and I've lauded Gannon and his staff. I don't know what they were doing offensively. They wanted Kyler Murray to sit back in the pocket like Joe Flacco. To me, I'm calling bootlegs with Kyler. I'm calling designed runs. I'm doing outside zone passes. I don't know what Arizona was doing. They just had Kyler fading back, and the Lions were pressuring him all day. Hutchinson was in there. DJ Reader on occasion. I mentioned Onwuzurike, Davenport. Pascal got there, albeit they called him for a roughing the passer, which I thought was a BS call. But regardless, Lions defense did a really good job. We are starting to see a maturation here with this defense, a big improvement, and that secondary really, really playing well. Big difference between Sutton, Jacobs, and Vildor last year, and now Davis and Arnold and Robertson, and those guys are doing a nice job. So you hold down Kyler Murray in that offense at home, 13 points after they put up a 40-burger last week against Hollywood, we'll take it. So shout out to the defense of the job, certainly that they did. I mentioned the injuries before. We'll give you a couple of updates on that coming up next. Also, we'll hand out some game balls. You know the Punt God's getting a game ball. Come on. I'm getting a Jack Fox jersey. That guy is just a stud. He's a beast. He's the best punter in football. Don't at me. Jack Fox is the best there is. Just flips the field, man. He's the field position specialist. I mean, he's the guy. What a job he did today. Really a great job. All right, Lions win 2-1, coming home for Monday Night Football against the 3-0 Seahawks next week. Man, I think Seattle beat Catholic Central's pretty good. I think they beat Groves high school this week. The Seahawks. Seahawks schedule has been pretty light, but they're 3-0, 3-0, and we'll see them Monday night. That's going to be awesome. Back after this. Oh, you know it. You love it. Locked On Lions brought to you by FanDuel. NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbooks. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet at FanDuel.com. Look, I've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. I'm stunned. The Detroit Tigers are on the precipice of making the playoffs. The Minnesota Twins are gigantic choke artists. And maybe this week you look up and go, I'm going to bet on the Miami Marlins because the Twins are so tight, they can't win baseball games. And the Tigers have overtaken them for the playoff spot right now. You can do all that at FanDuel. It's that simple. Go to FanDuel.com. Again, you get some bonus bets in there worth $200. FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. Yes, sir. We're handing out game balls. Oh, yeah. Got to give a shout out to one of our everydayers as well, my guy Josh Choice. Josh is the man. One of our listeners, and appreciates what we bring each and every day here on Locked On Lions. Tell your friends about us. For those of you that maybe have buddies that don't know about the show, let them know. We are here daily, Monday through Friday, and on the post games as we bring you the Sunday edition of Locked On Lions. Lions win over the Arizona Cardinals today, 20-13, out in the desert. Never easy to go out west and play. Lions come home for the Seahawks next week. Like I said today, Seattle took care of business. Were they at home? No, they were on the road. Where did Seattle won today? Oh my gosh. Come on. Seattle. I know Geno hit DK on a big deep ball today. Seahawks today won at home. They beat Miami 24-3. Seahawks off to a 3-0 start under Geno and company with wins over Denver, New England, and Miami. This will be their biggest test of the season coming up next Monday at 8:15 at Ford Field. Knocked off Denver 26-20, beat New England in overtime 23-20, and today knocked off Miami 24-3. Tim Boyle, remember former Mr. August? Tim Boyle? Yeah, he got in the game today because Skylar Thompson got hurt. My goodness. Quarterback play in the NFL right now is really not great. I mean, Sam Darnold's lighting it up right now. All right, let's hand out some game balls, shall we? First and foremost, David Montgomery. Come on. 23 carries, 105 yards, a touchdown. He was carrying guys all day. The offensive line didn't dominate today, but when Montgomery gets hit for the first time, he carries that poor tackler 2, 3, 4 more yards at a pop. He just keeps those legs churning. I love that guy. David Montgomery is Detroit Lions. He gets a game ball today for his 12th 100-yard rushing day of his career. Amon-Ra St. Brown, iced the game. Touchdown. Lateral to Jahmyr Gibbs. 7 catches, 75 yards. ARSB. Game ball today. I mentioned Jack Fox, the punt god. 5 punts, average of 49 yards each. Hit one at 68 yards today and downed 4 punts inside the 20 and I believe 3 inside the 10. That dude flips the field. He's an artist at it. Jack Fox gets a game ball, no question about it. On defense, I'm giving one to Carlton Davis. 7 tackles, 7 solo tackles. Did a great job in coverage. That play on Kyler Murray, he was awesome today. Kirby Joseph, an interception, 2 passes defended, 3 tackles today. Curb Superb gets a game ball today. He plays center field very, very well. Comes up and helps out in the run game. I really thought Kirby Joseph today had another very, very good game, and he deserves a game ball today. So those are the game balls that I'm handing out today. I mentioned before about some injuries. Dan Campbell was asked, so Derek Barnes got carted off with a knee injury, and Aleem McNeil left with a shoulder injury. Neither returned to the game. Campbell said after the game today, he does not think they're serious or season-ending injuries. That Brian Branch had that collision with McBride, the tight end, who, by the way, I thought led with the crown of his helmet on Branch. He's going to be in concussion protocol. Hopefully he's cleared with that extra day to play Monday night against the Seahawks. Mentioned before, Sam Laporta injured his ankle. He kept going in and out of the game, right ankle sprain. We'll see if he's going to be, good enough to play next Monday night. I thought Brock Wright had a pretty decent day today. Caught 4 balls for 34 yards. But a lot of guys, were in and out of the lineup today with injuries. Lions fought through it. And like we said before, we saw a lot of depth with this defense. Dan Campbell made that comment to Jennifer Hale on Fox at halftime. Like, hey, next man up. Plenty of guys contributed in this win today. Lions can play a lot better. Seriously. This league is wide open. Everyone's like, oh, San Francisco. They're 1-2. I know they're banged up, but they gagged away a game today against the Rams. Jake Moody, one of the best college kickers I've ever seen, but he missed another big one today. Mentioned before about the kicker list. I'm not going to reach for it, or maybe should I? Jake Bates missed an extra point today. And Brad Holmes gets that itchy trigger finger when that stuff happens. So keep an eye on Jake Bates, but he pushed one wide to the right today. Just because he missed one extra point doesn't mean his career's over, but just keep an eye on it. Regardless, Lions win. All right. We'll have Victory Monday tomorrow. Plenty to do on this week's shows. Thanks, everybody, for making us your first listen and checking us out wherever you get your podcast. Lions 20, Cardinals 13. As the Lions get to 2-1 on the season. We are back again with a Monday edition tomorrow.